All right, shout out to PokemonZone.com for having way higher resolution spoiler cards than the official website. Lugia EX, Ho-Oh EX, this is Wisdom of Sea and Sky A4. Very, very nice. Everyone's excited about Gen 2. And I figured I'd start with the duo, Lugia and Ho-Oh EX. So basically, the way it works is Ho-Oh EX is 150 HP. They both have 150 HP. Ho-Oh has three regular, colorless energy to do 80 damage for Phoenix Turbo. You take a fire, water, and electric energy from your energy zone, attach them to a benched basic Pokemon in any way you like. Or I think you can do like multiple Pokemon. Because I guess Pokemon, the plural of Pokemon is still Pokemon. So I'm assuming this means like any of the basic Pokemon in any way you want. And you put up your Lugia EX into the bench zone and you kind of fuel it up. Every time you attack with Ho-Oh, you put energy onto Lugia EX, and then when Ho-Oh inevitably gets knocked out, because 80 damage isn't a lot, Lugia will take over and do 180 damage, though you have to discard the energy. So if you attack with Ho-Oh twice, you get to attack with Lugia EX twice, if that makes any sense. And I believe that's how it works. Chikorita, Cyndaquil, very cute. Totodile, they all do the same thing. We're gonna hopefully the evolutions will be really cool too. And the baby Pokemon, this is another cool mechanic. You can activate these abilities, these moves for 0 energy. They cost 0, and which means you can pretty much use them on turn 1. If you're going first, then you can use this right away. Crackly Toss gets a free electric energy and attaches to one of your benched basic Pokemon. It doesn't have to be electric, can be any Pokemon. Very, very cool card. I think this could be really good. It reminds me of Zeraora, except Zeraora obviously happens on your first turn, and Zeraora obviously a better Pokemon in general, but the same idea of having like a free energy type thing. Cleffa is also reminding me of Shiinotic in a way. You put a random energy Pokemon from your deck into your hand for 0 energy. Again, the downside is that these all have like 30 HP, so they are very susceptible to getting knocked out. But they have no retreat cost, they have no weaknesses, so pretty cool. I'm very excited for Shiny Gyarados. It was a big deal in the Gen 2 games. And Wild Swing seems kind of wild to me. You can discard any number of your benched Pokemon. It does 40 more damage for, I'm assuming, each of the Pokemon that you've discarded this way. So it looks like it's 2 water energy. I'm not sure if there's a third one, but that's still pretty cool. And, obviously the downside is you have to evolve from Magikarp, but still a very cool looking card. Umbreon EX, we are getting more evolutions here. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon's in the active spot, you basically can Cyrus out a Pokemon that has damage on it to the active spot, which is pretty cool. Espeon has Psychic Healing, which heals 30 damage from one of your Pokemon. Very cool. And then these trainers I think are really cool as well. You've got Lyra, which switches out a Pokemon that has damage on it with one of your benched Pokemon. So kind of similar to Leaf, although Leaf I think is a little better because you don't need to have damage on it. But like for example, if a Pokemon that has more than just 2 retreat cost and it's like very hard to retreat, Lyra, as long as that Pokemon has damage on it, it will do the job. Zeraora, Silver. Silver is a very good trainer as well. I think this card can probably be very, very competitive. Your opponent reveals their hand, choose a supporter card you find there and shuffle it into your opponent's deck. This is in Magic the Gathering, we have a card called Thoughtseize or Duress, which do the same thing. It's like you look at your opponent's hand, you discard a card from there. This card is insane. It does shuffle into their deck, and it is a 20 card deck, so it's very likely they're going to draw it again. But the fact that you can just get rid of a supporter card, I think is pretty good. Now, these items, these tool cards, I'm really interested in as well. So if the Pokemon this card is attached to for Rescue Scarf is knocked out, you put it into your hand instead of the discard pile, so it comes back. Although, your opponent does get the point when knocking out the Pokemon, it's still pretty cool. Still means that you get to still have the Pokemon in hand that you can play again. Elemental Switch. This card, I think, is very, very strong. And in fact, I wouldn't be surprised if I started seeing this alongside, is also a replacement for Dawn. Because these, you can play any number of them a turn, and you can move out fire, water, or electric energy from one of your benched Pokemon to your active Pokemon. It doesn't have to be basic, it can be any Pokemon, it doesn't have to be any specific type. And Dawn is a trainer card that, I mean, it can be any energy, any type of energy for Dawn, but this is basically Dawn for 3 specific type of energy. And I think in the context of like, okay, having a Zeraora, right, and being able to like elemental switch that energy onto your active Pokemon for free, like I think Zeraora Arceus is going to be insane. Like that, I've already played that type of deck before, and this just enables it so much better. Oh, we got an ad here. The next Pokemon I want to talk about is Togepi. Let me just see if I can close out of this ad. I'm sorry. I don't know how to get rid of that. All right, let's just pretend it's not there. Togepi, during your opponent's next turn, attacks used by the defending Pokemon do negative 20 damage. Does require an energy, so it's not really necessarily a baby Pokemon. Swanna, move all energy from this Pokemon to one of your benched Pokemon. Does need to evolve. We saw Pichu already. Ampharos, these are a little too blurry to see. Porygon Z is also really good. Vulpix is pretty average, and these are all really hard for me to see. So that's about it. That's Wisdom of Sea and Sky. Looking forward to seeing this out in 4 days. What do you want to see from this set? What are you looking forward to? Which card are you most excited about? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.